Let's do some linear programming. Linear programming is a method for finding maximum or minimum value of some quantity. And that maximum or minimum depends on some constraints given, which are actually inequalities. So in our case, we have 4 constraints: x plus y less than equal to 7, y less than x plus 5, less than equal to x plus 5, x greater than or equal to 0, and y greater than or equal to 0. Which means we are going to be in the first quadrant. So if we change this first inequality, so we actually get the slope-intercept form, we'll get that y is less than or equal to negative x plus 7. And I did this just so it makes it easier for us to actually see which side do we shade. So this function, this inequality, x plus y less than 7, the line would be right here. And then since we have less than, y is less than the line, that means that our shading would actually go this way. Okay. The next constraint, y is less than or equal to x plus 5. We'll start from the line y equals x plus 5, and since we have less than, we would shade below. So our shading would go this way. So far the two shadings will overlap right here under the two lines. But now this constraint x greater than or equal to 0 simply means we start from the y-axis and anything on x greater than 0. So, or equal to 0. So the y-axis itself is also part of it. So now this part is not shaded 3 times, so that's not part of our shaded region. The 3 shadings are actually right here. And then now the fourth constraint says that y is greater than or equal to 0. Y greater than or equal to 0, that means we go from x-axis up. So as we should be able to see, each of these lines has arrows pointing towards this region right here. So everything below this line, that would make this little triangle, and everything below it. And then everything greater than or equal to x will eliminate part of it, and then only this part right here would be the region. And then we completely close the region off by saying using the fourth constraint, which says that we only can go above the x-axis, y greater than 0. So we are actually within these 4 points. This one right here, this one, and this one. So everything inside here is our feasible region in which we will actually check the constraints. Now not check the constraints, find the max or min. Now how do we find the max or min? Well, we need to analyze each of these corners. So let's find the coordinates of it. So this corner right here, coordinates are 0, 0. This one here happen to be 0, 5. This one right here on top is actually 1, 6. 1, 6. And then the last one right here is 7, 0. 7, 0. So to find the maximum or minimum, in this case we are trying to find maximum because we are talking about profits here. But to find max or min, we actually plug these values into our objective function. And this is our objective function, p equal to 3x plus 2y. So let's start plugging them in and see which one gives us the maximum profit. So let's start with 0, 0. If we start with that, then we would say p is equal to 3 times, we plug in the x value, which is 0 in this case, plus 2 times we plug in the y value, which is also 0. So this whole thing is actually just equal to 0, so which means 0 profits. And that should make sense because at 0, 0 we are not really producing anything. And then let's go to 0, 5. So 0, 5. Now the objective function is going to be 3 times, again we use the x value, which is 0, plus 2 times the y value, which is 5. So this ends up being equal to 10. Okay, let's go to the next point. Next point is 1, 6. 1, 6. So now when we plug them in, we'll get 3 times 1, the x value, and then 2 times the y value, which is 2 times 6. So this is 12 plus 3, so this is 15. And the last point is 7, 0, the last vertex. So 7, 0. When we use those coordinates, we get 3 times the x value, which is 7, plus 2 times the y value, which is 0, and we end up with 21. So to find the max, we are finding the max profit, right? To find the max, we simply just look at these results. Which one is the biggest? Since 21 is the biggest, this is our max. And that max will be accomplished at this point right here, 7, 0, right? I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to smile.